Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Redmen TV. Yes, it's the Uncensored match build-up show. I'm Steve Hall. This is Errol Smith. Over there, we've got Dan Klopp, and we are about to build up to one of the biggest games of the season. It always is. It's Liverpool versus Manchester United. Takes on a little bit of added significance for both clubs. Obviously, Man United on the coattails of a title race, trying to jump into that party. Liverpool, of course, trying to get themselves into the top four, and a couple of results, of course, went their favour yesterday. And that's the thing, isn't it? Elliot, I'll come to you straight away. And good afternoon, by the way. Yeah, the Newcastle loss and the Spurs loss just add a little bit more to it. It's Man United. It's always a big game, but like we've been sitting here for a while going, oh, it's going to take a lot for Liverpool to get themselves in Champions League football next season. We're not that far away now because results have gone. Liverpool's, they've won a few games. They haven't lost for a while. Clean sheet. A couple of rivals slipping up, and before we know it, we're right back in the mix, especially if we can win today. It's huge now.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's a massive game. We can't really underplay it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the stakes are high for both teams, but I think in terms of our season, I don't feel like there's been many games where we can really say that this could be a turning point and actually feel like it can be a meaningful turning point as well. We've had so many. We look at that City game back in when was it, October, and then obviously we had the two losses back to back after that, and it was a bit of a damn squid in the end, where you think, we haven't really turned that corner then, because obviously the results, you can go up against a great City team, but if you can't then do it against teams that are fighting relegation or in the bottom half, it doesn't really count for nothing. Whereas this game now is the start of what is going to be 3, 4, 5 other big games for us, and if we start this little run of games well in terms of getting the positive results against Man U, we can then look at those other games and say, right, that is the level we need to carry into those other Premier League games now, and we need to really push for it, because, as you say, the top four race has been blown wide open this weekend, and Liverpool are in a great place to kind of capitalise on that. It's just how ruthless can Liverpool be? How much energy, how much desire did these lads have for that fight? Because that's what it's going to be at this moment in time. We're really going to have to slug it out between now and the end of the season.
Absolutely. I'll speak to Dan about the team and stuff in a minute. Before we do, you want to give a bit of context to the game? We talk about the top four race there. So as it stands, Liverpool are in 6th place on 39 points. From 24 games played. Newcastle 41 points from their 24 games played. Tottenham 45 points from 26 games. So yeah, essentially if Liverpool could win their 2 games in hand, one of which is of course today, then they would at least go level with Tottenham. Goal difference as it stands, it will be in Liverpool's favour as well. Of course, Newcastle have got games that it gets all a bit messy there. Don't even rule out, Brighton on the coattails, Fulham a little bit, but it feels like we're starting to get down to a 3-horse race. And on that, Dan, I'll come over to you. We haven't there's been a few rumours rather about team news and how Liverpool are going to go into this one, go and approach it. I don't think yesterday's results. I think Jurgen with the newest team, regardless. But basically, whatever 11 gets put out now, that they'll well be aware of exactly what happened yesterday and what this game means. Not only beating Man United, but also in terms of points. But with that being said, what would you think is the best type of the balance of the side to go and get something off Man United?
Yeah, it's an interesting one today. I think I've got the team obviously up from that game against Wolves in midweek. There will be a couple of changes from that, I imagine. I think he'll try and take the game to United today, to be honest with you. I think it won't be that sort of gung-ho midfield. These two youngsters, one of them I think we're expecting to come out, I think we'll see Jordan Henderson go back into there. But it'll be that balance between being safe and having enough to go and take the game to them, because United have been really good. They're the informed team here. Let's not beat around the bush. Like, they're riding on the crest of a wave right now. Just won the first trophy in God knows how many years. But they like to sit back and soak up and hit on the counter. So I think we've got an opportunity to really fly out the blocks and get at them. And I think the team he picks might just reflect that as well, that bit more experience, but also keeping the likes of Elliot in there, maybe with your full-backs adding that creativity. But just to add to what you guys are saying about how important this is Liverpool Man United, but it's got that added significance because of yesterday's results. Like, we've only got a few more games now between now and a 17-day break for matches, and Liverpool have got an opportunity to actually put themselves in the box seat. Like, we've been the one chasing the pack for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. But now, all of a sudden, if we win today and then back that up with a couple more, we're suddenly in the driving seat for a top four race. That's a massive opportunity for us.
Absolutely, it is. And like I say, well, better. If you can't get up for Man United at home, then who are you going to get up for? And on that, by the way, Jurgen Klopp spoke at his press conference on Friday morning, actually. He went early doors, then he went at 9:30 Friday morning, give himself a lot of chance to prepare and get the players ready. He was asked about this game, the significance, what it's like to play Man United. He's got some players who haven't played in this type of game before. Here's what the gaffer had to say about playing the Manx.
without emotions would be a sad event, to be honest. I don't think we should try that. Why should we? But it's always about football, and in football you need emotions, but you need all your other skills as well. And so it's not our first derby. Maybe for one or two players, but even for them it's not a first derby. Maybe just against United. So no, we are okay, and I always was always looking forward to this game. It's the game. United is quite a big club as well, and so always when we face them, it's massive. And in the last few years, we did quite well, but we know that they are so far play a much better season than us. But that means nothing. How we all experienced in the last 3 years when we played better seasons than Man United. That doesn't mean you just win the game. It just means you have more points. But that's not relevant for this game. It's just that you make sure that you are really ready for it, and that's what we try to be.
Yeah, and the gaffer has got us all. So it's like I say, he's ready. He thinks he's ready. He's happy that his players are ready. The official Liverpool team will be announced in about 7 minutes' time, but we have got a rumour team. Not going to tell you where we're from, because we never do that. We can't reveal your sources. But yeah, essentially, Dan, the rumour team, I've asked you to put on the board there. So Joe, if you can go to Dan, this is the rumour team that I've heard Liverpool are going to pick. Robbo, Van Dijk, Konate and Trent, Fabinho, Elliot, Henderson, Salah, Gakpo and Darwin Núñez. And if that is the case, Dan, which we think it is, I, for one, am surprised that there's no Stefan Bajcetic. That's the... you can argue a couple of positions.
Yeah.
I think I would have picked a similar team. I probably would have had Bajcetic, and I thought he was nailed on. If that is the team, and we'll confirm this very, very shortly, I think that's the one to me that thinks, wow, that's again, it's mad because you're a kid and he's hardly played, but no Stefan Bajcetic is probably the big talking point if that is the team that we think is going to play later.
No, it definitely is the big talking point, absolutely. And it's interesting from two standpoints, really, the fact that Elliot stays in there, because obviously we're used to seeing Elliot on this side of the midfield as well. Now, you'd imagine with Henderson coming in, he's almost certain to play there, and Elliot will be over here, so it's a different dynamic for him. There's bound to be a lot of criticism for Elliot because he seems to just bring that upon himself, whether it be bad or good sometimes. I think his performances can be a little bit indifferent. I'm not wholly surprised he's kept him in there because he does want that extra creativity, and that's what Elliot does bring. No surprise that he hasn't gone back to Naby Keita for that. I know he's carrying a little knock as well, so maybe that's part of the reason, but I don't think he was ever coming back into the equation for this one. But on your point, Steve, I think you're spot on. I think it's testament to how good Bajcetic has been that we're talking about a Liverpool-Manchester United game, and we're all pretty surprised, myself included. I thought he'd be in from the start because what he brings is he brings that toughness and that physicality and that reading of the game from a defensive point, but he does also bring that eye for a pass. I think we've seen that more and more out of him in recent weeks. So to go with Elliot is a big call, and I'm a little bit disappointed and definitely a little bit shocked that Bajcetic isn't in this side.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I'll come to you on the next talking point. Then he had a decision to make up front. Jota played the way they started. He had Roberto Firmino, of course. News broke this week, of course, that he's coming to the end of his Liverpool career now. This is going to be the last time Bobby Firmino will be playing Man United at Anfield for Liverpool, certainly. Anyway, it looks like he's gone Cody Gakpo. Shocked, surprised, happy. What are your thoughts on that one?
Indifferent again. Again,
what would you have done?
The sentimental guy if he wanted to bring Bobby back just for one last dance. Do you get me? Just go and do it. One last dance. Go and link up with Salah and Núñez and just cause havoc. But I think, even in some of the conversations that, like, and I don't know, I said he's been leaked or we've seen since Bobby's leaving, he's seeing the next wave coming through. And he feels like it's the right time for him to kind of... I
saw it. Dan spoke to Florian Plettenberg, actually, on Redmen Plus. If you haven't seen it later, by the way, go and check it out. In fact, what I'll do, I'll give you a little code so you can go and do that. But in general, he said Firmino's been fit for a while now, and he hasn't been getting on the pitch, and maybe that has played a part in the decision. It's Man United at home, and he's not playing. Yeah. And he probably wouldn't have even been the next choice because Jota would have been the next choice. So before he knows it, he's currently fifth in this pecking order, and that's without Luis Diaz. He's sixth in the pecking order. That could play that again. It kind of justifies the reason why he's getting off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in that sense, I know from a fan's perspective, we want to have that swan song, and we want to see what he can do. And as you just said, Ben, it's the last time he's going to play Man U at Anfield, and all those things are great. But I think it's having the ability to look to see what's best for the team within this particular.
I'd have played him anyway. I would have played him actually for his skill set. I think that dropping deep into midfield thing, it could be against. Because
everyone keeps saying Gakpo's is heir apparent. Yeah, so if that's the way it's going to be, then it's about who's the right man for this particular moment.
And Dan, I'll come to you on that because Man United are going to play midfield too. It's going to be Fred and it's going to be Casemiro playing like it's 4-2-3-1 what Man United do. Yeah. So somebody is going to have to get in there because otherwise it's going to be a hard night for Harvey Elliott if he's got Casemiro and Fred running around him. So someone is going to have to drop in. That's why I said I think Bobby Firmino would have been the right call. But we have seen Cody Gakpo doing that and doing it quite well, actually, to be fair to him. I just think Bobby's a bit more natural to it. But whoever plays up front, we think it is going to be Cody Gakpo. Yeah. If it's Varane and Martinez behind them and Fred and Casemiro in front of them, that's a box. Cody Gakpo is going to be in the middle of a 4-person box there. Do you think that the fact that he can get out of that and get wide and drop deep and go forward is maybe the reason he's playing? Because, like I say, United would like to box your centre forward in. That's what they like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're dead right. And I would have played Bobby Firmino for the same reason you're illustrating there. That ability to drop deep and interrupt stuff and to be that sort of one breaking things up, and so United don't have it all their own way in that midfield battle. But I do think, and Errol kind of touched upon it, I do think we do see Cody Gakpo as that second coming of the Roberto Firmino. I think we've kind of thought it for a little while now because we've seen him do very similar things. He has similar attributes. I must admit, I didn't expect them when we signed him, but he has been doing it. And I think, given the news this week, sentimentally, we all wanted Bobby Firmino to play this game. I think there's no doubt about that. But him not playing and Gakpo playing again in a game where we know we're going to need our 9 to drop deep and be that disruptor in there is more proof that Jurgen Klopp sees Cody Gakpo as Bobby Firmino 2.0. That is just nailed on for me now. If this is the team we go with and he's in the 9 and he's doing that false 9 stuff, dropping deep and making things happen here, it's him. It has to be him. I think Bobby Firmino's been a genius at it. He's basically played with wing mirrors on for us for years. He's been absolutely incredible. But if he's getting overlooked for Gakpo in this one, he is your man. Firmino 2.0.
Absolutely. I mentioned before then, Dan spoke to Florian Plettenberg. Plenty Gold, the man who actually broke the Bobby Firmino news on Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. It was a mad one because none of us were actually in the building. Dan had to get in the car. I had to get on Zoom and stay. If you want to check that out between this show finishing and the watch-along starting at about 15 minutes before kick-off, so 4:15 UK time, head on over to redmenplus.com. What I'll do, if you sign up to redmenplus.com today as a club captain on the £5 subscription monthly, if you use the code IMR on the payment screen, 3 letters, capital letters, IMR, give you it for free for a month. So what you can do, you can watch us now, sign up to Redmen Plus in the break, watch the 10 to 15 minutes of Dan's got with Florian Plettenberg, come back for the watch-along, and then you'll be able to listen to the In The Ground podcast from Anfield with Chris Pajak and watch the instant match reaction after the game. So yeah, redmenplus.com. IMR on the payment screen if you sign up for a monthly club captain subscription, and we'll have you covered. Go and check out everything we do on Redmen Plus for a month for absolutely zilcho. And if you like it, sound, and if you don't, you know what, cancel it, and you haven't even cost yourself a penny. So yeah, redmenplus.com, IMR. I was waiting for the official team news. So well, I'm going to find it because I think it's out. I've just got to do a little bit of Liverpool. It's mad that you search at LFC on Twitter and it's not the top search. Liverpool need to box their SEO off. But yeah, just to confirm the team, it is what we thought. It is Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson. It's Fabinho, Henderson, Elliot. It's Salah, Núñez and Gakpo. Dan's busy over there trying to get his bench. Dan, do you want me to help you?
Just Curtis Jones.
Let's do it live. You got Kelleher.
Yeah.
Milner.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Curtis.
He's the one I'm missing.
He's down the bottom there. Keep him in your hand then. Jota, Tsimikas.
Yeah.
Carvalho, Matip, Bajcetic.
Yeah.
So you can bin out.
I've already got my hand on the man.
Who is
Alex
it?
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
The obviously. He's a goner. So there we go. The Liverpool 11 and the subs bench. Then that says a lot for Oxlade-Chamberlain, really, doesn't it?
They're just rotating them 3.
Yeah.
Carvalho, Ox and Jones. It's just like in a rotation. Who's going to sit on the bench?
2 out of 3 every single time. So yeah, the team news then to go and confirm it. Can I go back to that board shot, please, Joe? We've got Alisson, Robbo, Van Dijk, Konate, Trent, Fab, Elliot, Hendo, Núñez, Gakpo, Salah, with a bench of Kelleher, Milner, Firmino, Jones, Jota, Tsimikas, Carvalho, Matip, and Bajcetic. And yet we spoke about it before. Dan, I'll stick with you on this one, mate. Chris done a deep dive on it. Everyone's been talking about Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford versus Trent Alexander-Arnold. Whoever wins that battle, their team goes a long way. If Marcus Rashford wins that battle, there's a very good chance Man United walk out of Anfield all 3 points. He's having the season of his life, Marcus Rashford. He's done well against Trent Alexander-Arnold before. Do you think that partly explains the reason why Jordan Henderson's in the team? And probably you've put him on the right-hand side there. With Elliot on the left. Is that your thinking behind throwing Henderson on that right because of the threat of Marcus Rashford?
100% it is, absolutely, yeah. And I think that's a really important area of the field. without a shadow of a doubt. That Rashford against Trent, because we know what Trent likes to do. He likes to bomb forward. We're going to need this man to be on his A game today, covering across as well. But Jordan Henderson's inclusion is no surprise to me whatsoever. I would have gone with him in this side. I have absolutely no issue with that. I would have gone with Bajcetic over this side as well. I'd have gone Elliot out of the team onto the bench. But yeah, Henderson will be in there to sort of try and stop Marcus Rashford. Not only when Rashford's got the ball and he'll be over helping out, sort of doubling up, but also the service. It's vital that his midfield, including Harvey Elliott, manage to stop the service. And if Rashford gets high quality ball, especially when Trent's high up the field, he's going to cause problems. If we lose the ball in that transition and they get it out to Marcus Rashford quickly, that's when we're going to need Henderson and Fabinho to be dealing with it, to be cutting it out very early on. I actually think the Rashford against Trent battle is huge. I actually think a more important battle is Fabinho against Casemiro. Almost not one-on-one. It's about the style of games that they have. Like, you can almost correlate Man United's rise this season with Casemiro's form being boss and ours going the other way with Fabinho. Like, your number 6 is absolutely pivotal, and Casemiro's been outstanding for United. It pains me to say, whereas Fabinho's been terrible for us and we've gone the other way.
Do you think there can only be one quality Brazilian DM?
It looks that way. But he should take umbrage.
Over the reins or some
shit. Fernandinho to Fabinho, that's a Casemiro.
But he should take umbrage with the fact that Casemiro's come in. He's been so good this season. Like, he should be fuming about that, and he should want to put in a performance there that shows you, because he has been better in recent weeks, and so have we. It's no coincidence. And the same can be said for Bajcetic when he's gone in there. He's been better than Fabinho was before, and so's our performances. So for me, it's actually a bit Fabinho against Casemiro today.
Absolutely. I think, it might be a fair point that makes there. A couple of comments from the Discord chat. Then Jif said he's very nervous without Bajcetic. I think the balance is better when he plays. Tony says maybe they're just managing Stefan's minutes as well. And Dean says, I didn't think Elliot would be starting, but here we are. And that's kind of the thing. I think I'm shocked that Bajcetic is in this team. It's very brave of Jurgen. He's going after Man United. He's got 4 attacking players there. I thought he would go man for man, and I'll bring you the United team in a moment. And I've wondered if the fact that they do play that 4-2-3-1, maybe he does want to get Harvey Elliott, maybe in some space or something. But yeah, I'm very, very surprised that Bajcetic, even if he wanted to play Elliott, he could have been in over Firmino or Henderson on form. I'm shocked he isn't in the team. You?
Obviously, the kid's been quality, but again, for me, it speaks to, and I'll go on the other side of the argument, it speaks to there are certain games in your early career where it can just be one step too far. And I felt out of all of the players the other week when we had that Real Madrid game, as good as he's been, that was just a stage or a game too far for him and where he was currently at. And it's no slight on him. I think he's been amazing for us, but it was just a very difficult setting. And I feel like Man U can almost have a very similar effect. You can kind of be drawn into the spectacle of the game and the emotions of the game rather than just playing your opposite number and just doing your job. So considering you've never been on the bench, considering you've never been in a match day squad for this type of game, maybe that kind of experience is almost as important as actually the minutes on the pitch for him. And Harvey Elliott has been in and around some of the big games for us, the big game atmospheres, and maybe it's his time to now take that opportunity and kind of step up. I think Harvey Elliott, where I will give credit to him is he's been a bit of a utility man in that midfield for us this season, really. He's had to pick up a couple of either side of that A for us, and he's doing it to the best of his ability. Do I think he's a natural fit for those positions? No, that's just my personal take on it. But again, has he got that little bit more experience in these particular moments? You'd probably argue at this particular point compared to both of their careers so far, he has got that little bit more of experience. So it's mad because you're still talking about 2 very, very young players, but all those little moments where Klopp has been building it over the time with them, of getting in matchday squads on certain big games and competitions and going far into competitions and being that guy to call upon when you need something to happen off the bench. Elliot's been that, whereas Bajcetic has just been a shining light in what's been an abject season for Liverpool's midfielders. So I don't particularly feel too bad that he's not included, because if this was us playing Spurs, or if this was us playing Brighton tomorrow or today, or if it was a different team, you'd expect them to play. But because it's Man U, because of the level of the opposition, and because of the form of the opposition as well, I can completely understand why Klopp's saying, soak up all of this from a standoffish perspective and know that when the next time comes round, you'll be right in the middle of it.
Actually, I had to pick Bajcetic. I wouldn't have had Elliot. And listen, hopefully I'm proved wrong, and hopefully Harvey does something early doors. Dan, can I just ask you to do something very quick? Is there any chance at all that Liverpool are just matching Man United. Because I'm going to bring the Man United team up first now for everybody, and I'll come back to you. But they've got De Gea, Martinez, Fernandes, Rashford, Fred, Casemiro, Varane below, Anthony, Shaw and Weghorst. So that's 4-2-3-1. Do you think there's any chance that Jurgen's doing the same? So throw Gakpo up front, throw Harvey in the 10.
Going in something like that.
And then put Salah and Nunez a little bit deeper, maybe.
So Gakpo up front, like that, I see, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, perhaps, because that would be a reason not to play by Chetic if he's going to play someone more as a 10 role and just match up to Man United. Yeah. We've seen him do 4-2-3-1 before. Often it was with Bobby Firmino or Jota in the side, but again, it might be. I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe I might be wrong, but is that any type of possibility that he's just going for that? Yeah,
it absolutely is a possibility. Even if he's just out of possession, he might go into that, and then when we get the ball back, it might revert to that 4-3-3 that we had it as a moment ago. That is absolutely a possibility here. I think. The only thing I would say, and you kind of touched upon it, and I was thinking it as you were speaking, was that still doesn't explain the Elliot inclusion. Maybe it does in terms of his work rate, but I don't know, you'd just go Bobby in there, wouldn't you? If you're playing that formation, Bobby's tailor-made to go and do that, and I'm not even sure.
But do you think he is tailor-made to do that if Gakpo's going to be there as well? Because I almost feel
same space.
Yeah, the same, they're going to want to operate in the same spaces, whereas...
But then on that, I think you'd go Jota in this one because Jota's your man going that way, or you go Jota out here and Nunez in here because you want that man running behind there. I think Gakpo can't be your sort of standalone 9. He hasn't got that. He hasn't got those skill sets. He hasn't got them attributes for me. I really like him. I think he's going to be a very good player for Liverpool Football Club. I just don't see how he does that role. So maybe you could even switch them two in that. You could even go to something like that, because that makes a little bit more sense of what you're saying there, because if Elliot's taking up all this space, the last thing you want is Gakpo or Firmino in a different instance dropping into there. So maybe that, perhaps when we haven't got the ball, who knows? It's interesting.
Yeah, everyone in the comments is highlighting Elliot, so that is going to be one to watch. And I feel like you almost put like a target on your back. Yeah. Jurgen, like, that is a massive call from the manager in that respect.
You say that right, and again, but like, the alternative was another kid. Like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? He hasn't left out, like, you know, he hasn't left Mo Salah out here, you know what I mean? Like, he's replaced a teenager with a teenager. He's just gone for what Jurgen's gone actually the attacking option. He's gone for the brave option. We're all sitting here going, oh man, you know, Casemiro and Fred, and I'd have played Bajcetic because I'm nervous. He's gone the opposite way. He's gone, no, fuck it, we're going to win this game. You said before, fighting fire with fire. That's Elliot is the most attacking option we've got in midfield currently. Yeah. You know, unless you're going to put Carvalho in there, I don't think he's ever fancied doing that again. No. Every time he's played, he's been forced. But that's what he's done, Errol. Elliot is the most attacking option of our centre mids. Jurgen's been brave. He's going at Man United. At home, he's going, no, I want to win this. You might not agree with it, and I wouldn't have done it. But maybe I'm a bit more reserved or conservative in that regard. I don't know. But like,
you're pragmatist there.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm a doubter.
But Man U, again, I think it's respecting where Man U currently are as well, knowing how dangerous they've been just for the season and the form that they've picked up over the since the turn of the year. So you can have that kind of reservation yourself. But it's to me, right, so the Everton midfield was Fab, Henderson, Bajcetic, weren't it? Yeah. And he fucking worked the socks off. They ran them into the ground. We thought that those Everton lads, after the way that they played Arsenal, were going to be all over us. It was going to be very combative. And this Man U team, to me, especially midfield, doesn't seem too dissimilar to that. And it's like, if we win the midfield battle, ultimately we could come out on top, because if we win the midfield battle, that means we're going to eliminate the service that goes into Rashford more often than not. If we eliminate the service that goes into Rashford, that means that we're going to be on the front foot, enabling us to then create the opportunities and the chances. The one area of the pitch where I think we've neglected to actually speak on at this moment in time is how important are our fullbacks now to our attacking threat if Elliot is in that team. Because to me, when you put Elliot in that team, it almost suggests that you're going to ask Trent to do what we seen Trent doing the other week, where it was Wolves, and it was more Simicast doing the bombing up, and it was like, Trent, you just have a little bit more of a conservative game, play your man, don't go too far up, time your runs perfectly, and that'll work for us, and that'll see us through, because we're going to have an outlet on that left hand side that's going to constantly go and bomb up. So for me, having Elliot in there, especially on that left hand side, almost suggests that that's where the overload's going to be. It's going to be Nunez, Elliot and Robbo that are going to be overloading. Henderson and Trent are going to be providing
doing a job on Rashford,
and they're going to be doing a job on Rashford, and that's where the switch of the tactical battle is going to come. That's what kind of it suggests to
Yeah,
me.
it makes sense, mate. It does make sense. We've had a members chat from Kyle Brueggemann, I think that's his name, sorry, if I butchered that. Kyle says, nothing like Liverpool v Man United to come on the Redmen, absolutely, indeed. Wyatt Arm Red with the £2 super chat as well. Elliot's a kid learning on his job, give him some time. And like I say, don't write, that's the thing is now, we don't know, like, we've sat here before and gone, why has he picked that team, why has he picked that, we just don't know. Yeah. Jurgen's got a plan in his head. It might just be that he doesn't think Bajcetic can play again. We don't know the fitness side of things. It might just be Bajcetic needs the rest. We don't know that for sure. But like I say, I'll go back to it. Say what I say before. It's a brave call to go. It's a brave call to go, Elliot, because he is saying, right, we're going at Man United. They're a counter-attacking team, and we're gonna leave ourselves a little bit more vulnerable. Elliot's gonna have to justify his inclusion with his attacking threat as well as his defensive threat.
He is, yeah, absolutely, and it is a brave call because we are talking about, a lot of people have criticism for his sort of defensive contribution. I don't think we can question his sort of desire to want to put that work in. It's just not his modus operandi. He's a converted winger playing in the midfield that we've sort of relied upon to be really combative, be the engine room, and we're asking a winger to go in there and do it. Now, he will do it, he will make the tackles, he'll put himself about, because we've kind of all said about the Bajcetic, Henderson, Fabinho, what that did have was that hard-working mentality. Harvey Elliott's going to bring that. He's just not as physical as the other lads. He hasn't got that in him. He's not quite as defensively minded as the others. So that's the only doubt there, really. But what we need to remember here is, and you've kind of alluded to it there, Steve, Jurgen Klopp trusts Harvey Elliott in this game of football, but Jurgen Klopp absolutely adores Harvey Elliott. Like, this means he continues his run and being involved in every single Premier League game this season for us. Like, he trusts this kid. He thinks this kid's really special. And I know he's got his doubters, I know he's got his detractors, and sometimes rightfully so. He hasn't always been perfect, but we are still talking about a kid who used to play on the wing, who we're now asking to play in the midfield three. He's got a lot of ability. It's a big test for him today, make no bones about it, and I would have gone with Bajcetic, but we've just got to trust the process on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it all pans out in about, 45 minutes time for kick-off. But yeah, so before I go then, a couple of quick messages. Dan, I'll get your thinking hats on. I'm going to come to you for a score prediction very, very shortly. I mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again to you guys. Thanks so much for joining us for the build-up show. If you need something to watch between now and then, head over to redmenplus.com. Loads of great content on there. There's an opposition preview with the guy from the United Stand, if you want to watch that. There's Dan's interview with Florian Plettenberg, all about the breaking Bobby Firmino news from the other day, where Bobby announced that he's going to be leaving Liverpool Football Club at the end of the season. redmenplus.com, monthly club captain, use the code IMR on the payment screen and you will get it for free for the first month. So yeah, you can try it out, completely won't cost you a penny. You get all content that we've got on there, the whole back catalogue of documentaries, features, interviews, everything that's coming between now and the next month as well, including the final word for this show. Loads and loads of stuff available for you on redmenplus.com. So yeah, code IMR, get yourself involved in that one. Right, I've given you enough time there. I've stalled a bit. Dan, I will come over to you first. Give me a score prediction.
Yeah, Graham Souness has been bullish, so I'm going to have to copy him. I'm not disagreeing with that, man. Liverpool 2-0. I was right in midweek, by the way, with 2-0 against Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Go again.
Nailed it.
We do not let this slip, yeah, go on.
I want fireworks, man. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 3-2 game. To be honest, it's blood and thunder, just back to back. Two teams that are like, obviously Man U are already in the form, but Liverpool are finding that form, and we've got that home advantage. And I just hope we want it that little bit more. So yeah, 3-2.
The Reds and United throwing hands like fucking diamond hands over here. Absolutely, get going on that one. I am gonna say 2-1 to Liverpool. I think Rashford will score because you'd be silly to back against.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1. Right then, thanks very much to Dan. Thanks very much to Errol. Thanks very much to you guys for tuning into the Umbu Show. Like I say, hope you enjoyed it. redmenplus.com, code IMR if you want more stuff between now and then. Me and I'll be back live in the studio in 30 minutes time for the Watchalong. So yeah, 15 minutes before kick-off. We all through the game, complete biased commentary. I know it's on TV all over the planet. Everyone is going to be watching Liverpool versus Man United. But if you want biased commentary in favour of Liverpool and not against Liverpool, which some TV companies sometimes feel like they're doing, sync us up, press mute, and me and Ed will guide you for the entire way. We've got songs, we've got the chat.
We got you.
We've got the chat. You can come and get involved in the chat, whether you're in the Discord chat or the YouTube comments. You can talk to each other. We've got polls and votes and so everything you need as you're a compliment to Liverpool versus Man United. Right then, we're going for a quick break, and we'll be back in about half an hour's time with the Watchalong. See you later, everyone.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that show. Did you know if you go over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a Club Legend subscriber, you will get access to our amazing Discord chat, 20% off merchandise, live tickets every year for free, plus all our incredible content, and you'll get absolutely everything right as it happens. So get over there and do it.